All right, I think we are recording. Let me double check. Yes, we are recording. Just wanted to make sure. And let me just go ahead and get this presentation nice and big for you. So welcome you guys. I'm excited you're here to learn about how to care for our teeth. So this is something that I've never taught on, actually, not in this setting at least, but I did work for an orthodontist for over 5 years. And then in high school, I also worked for my dad. My dad's a retired oral surgeon, so I spent time with teeth there. But more the orthodontic realm was where I really focused on mouth health, because you just imagine you have these teenagers that have braces on their teeth, and the braces are just basically like a shelf that would collect everything that they ate. So that's where I learned a lot about how to take care of our teeth. And then I got really interested in doing things a more natural way, just figuring out what is really safe and effective for our body and really natural. What natural things can we use that get us really good results? So that's kind of where this class came from. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but there's a really strong connection between mouth health and total body health. So when people have poor mouth health, very often they have higher rates of heart problems like stroke and heart attacks and things like that. And there's a couple theories. I was kind of, I don't know about you guys, but I'm always questioning. I'm like, okay, but why? What's the connection there? And from what I understand, they're not totally sure yet. There's definitely some disagreement from the few articles that I read, but one camp believes that there's this harmful oral bacteria that can travel from your gums, from unhealthy gums into your bloodstream, and that travels to your heart and circulates in your body. And then there's this other camp that's like, no, it's just that these people in general don't take as good of care of themselves. So their heart is not as healthy and their gums are not as healthy and they're not connected, but they are like, they do seem to happen hand in hand because it's just kind of just the way that person happens to care for themselves. So regardless of the reason why, just be aware that there is a strong connection here. So I want to give you 4 daily steps to caring for your teeth. So this first one, I don't know, are any of you guys familiar with these things, these tongue scrapers? They're becoming more popular now, but they're definitely not mainstream, I wouldn't say. So this is a tongue scraper that's actually made out of copper. And the cool thing about a tongue scraper is that it reduces that undesirable bacteria in your mouth, because whether or not it circulates through your gums and gets to your heart, we don't want this undesirable bacteria in our mouth because it causes inflammation in our mouth, it causes bad breath, it causes gum disease and things like that. So we want to rid our mouth of the bacteria, and we brush, and some of us might even brush our teeth, but these tongue scrapers are really helpful for just scraping off the gunk. And when you first start to use this, you're going to be grossed out, and even now I'm still grossed out sometimes. And it's recommended that we use these morning and night, and just put it part of your daily routine. So when I'm really on it, which is most days, I've kind of developed this morning routine where I wake up, scrape my tongue, brush my teeth, and then do the mouthwash, kind of skipping ahead in my steps. But starting your day by scraping your tongue before you even drink water is just a really good way to freshen your mouth. And another really cool thing that this does is that it helps you taste more subtle flavors in your food, so that things like vegetables and fruit and the natural foods that are so good for us actually can taste better, because they contain a lot of subtle flavors, whereas the packaged food and processed food has those flavors that are just so in your face, like the bold Doritos and things like that. It's hard to really taste the subtle flavors in broccoli if you're, number one, used to eating Doritos all day, and number two, if your tongue is coated and your taste buds aren't working as well as they should. And it also helps with cravings. So you can scrape the food residue off your mouth, and it can help with cravings as well. And some people even say that this helps you to become a better speaker, a better communicator. So if that's something you want, you could definitely play around with the tongue scraper as well. So like I said, recommend starting with the tongue scraper. And then this next, moving to the right, this next thing, I don't know if you guys are familiar with these either, but this is, well, there's the floss and the tooth. Hopefully you're familiar with that. But that little machine thing is a water pick, also known as a water flosser. And these things are amazing. I use this every morning and every night as well. And I actually asked my dentist about this because you can read on like the Waterpik site. And back when I worked for an orthodontist back in the day, we had a Waterpik rep come and they would do these lunch and learns things for us. And they told us that water flossing was more effective than flossing with floss. And so I asked my dentist about this actually the last time I was in there, and he said that he still does both. He does the Waterpik and he actually flosses as well. He looks in mouths with tooth decay every single day. So I understand him going above and beyond and kind of looking for perfection with this. So for me, I do the Waterpik almost every single night, and then I floss like a couple times a week, like especially the nights that I have popcorn or the nights that I know that there's stuff stuck in there. And I feel like they both have a place. The Waterpik is definitely more of an investment than a thing of floss for sure. I can't remember how much mine was exactly, but under $100. And I've had it a few years now. And I actually have this exact same one. It's a travel one. I don't take it with me when I travel. I just travel with floss, but it is like, it's cordless, which I appreciate. Because if you've ever used the one that's has the cord and plugs into the wall, it's just a little bit more to maneuver. So these are really, really helpful and can, what they do is they irrigate under your gums. So when you tongue scrape and then when you brush, you're just cleaning above the gum line. So floss and water flossing loosens that stuff up from underneath the gum line. And one thing I was reading and prepping for this class is that the wax that's on floss can actually interfere with cleaning your teeth as well. So there's this holistic dentist that I found that I was reading his blog, and he recommends unwaxed floss. So I use waxed floss, but like I said, I don't use it that often. And if you do have like tight contacts in your teeth, if your teeth are really close together, you might have dealt with like the floss breaking, the floss getting stuck. That definitely happens to me. So that's when you could use like a glide floss or something that glides in a little bit smoother. And then of course, we want to brush our teeth every single day, multiple times a day. And this On Guard toothpaste, if you haven't tried it yet, is fabulous. It was out of stock for a couple months. So maybe you never noticed that it was out of stock if you use it, but I know a lot of us were waiting around like, when is this going to be out? I was literally down to like my last sample little tube that I had. And I actually had to go out and buy a different brand of toothpaste that wasn't near as good. It was just another natural brand that didn't clean my mouth as well. My mouth didn't feel as fresh. And so what makes this On Guard toothpaste different is it has essential oils in it. Of course, it's made by doTERRA. So of course they would add essential oils that are really good for your mouth. And the oils that are in there are myrrh. So myrrh is very soothing for the mouth. It's been used for thousands of years for mouth health. It's soothing to the gums, soothing to the throat, really good for the immune system. And really, most of the oils in here are really good for your immune system. So we're all focused on immune health right now. And so this toothpaste lets us get a little immune support every single time we brush our teeth. So that's kind of like the side benefit of this toothpaste. And then there's cinnamon bark oil in here. And I don't really taste the cinnamon near as much as I taste the peppermint, which is also in here. But cinnamon bark oil is it's a very powerful cleanser. So it really helps with the undesirable bacteria that we talked about. It helps to get rid of that. And then peppermint freshens your breath. And then if you've ever used peppermint, you know it kind of gives you that boost of mental clarity. I actually put wild orange and peppermint on right before I started teaching tonight because it's kind of late and I'm usually starting to head towards bed by now. So it really can just help wake up your mind and help you to just feel really fresh and clean. And then there's clove oil in there. So clove helps with sensitivity. So if you have any sensitive teeth, like I had a sensitive tooth, one of my lower cuspids was sensitive. So when I would go into the dentist, they'd be cleaning my teeth and I would just be waiting for the zing that was going to happen. It happened every single time. And a couple cleanings into using this On Guard toothpaste, that completely went away. I haven't had that happen in years. So this isn't marketed as a sensitivity toothpaste, but in my experience, it has helped with tooth sensitivity. And I don't have overly sensitive teeth. So if you do have really sensitive teeth, I'd be interested to get your feedback on this. But like I mentioned, my one little area, it made a big difference with that. And it also is a whitening toothpaste. So it has hydrated silica, which is a natural, gentle abrasive that just gently polishes your teeth, removes plaque, removes tooth stains, and it keeps your tooth enamel intact, which is really, really important. We want to really protect our tooth enamel when we're taking care of our teeth. We want to protect our tooth enamel and we want to protect our gums. It's really vital that we're really careful as we clean our teeth, that we're persistent and consistent, but we don't do it too much, kind of like oil use in general. We want to be persistent and consistent and just use a little at a time, like kind of day in and day out, all throughout every day to get the best results. And then has a sweet flavor, and that comes from xylitol. So if you've looked into xylitol at all, you'll know that it's a very natural sweetener. It adds a sweet flavor. It doesn't have any sort of calories or sugar or anything like that. And it's actually really good for your teeth. So a lot of natural gums are sweetened with xylitol, a lot of natural mints, same thing, because it's just gives a sweet flavor, and it also improves your mouth health, which is exactly what we want. We don't want to, my thought has always been, why would I want to put anything into my mouth that damages it? So as we get into the mouthwash, I'll talk more on that. This toothpaste does not contain fluoride. So I recommend that you make your own fluoride decision, just like with everything. Like I'll give you my opinion, and then you go out and do your research. The thing with fluoride that I finally wrapped my head around is it is very helpful for keeping your teeth strong, keeping your teeth healthy. And at the same time, it's very toxic to our body. So the main reason that I don't want fluoride toothpaste in my house right now is I have a 3-year-old, and multiple times I have caught her under her bed, under my desk, and in my closet with the toothpaste, just eating it, because this On Guard toothpaste does taste good. I know that some kids think it's really spicy. My kids thought it was spicy for a couple times, and I was like, this is our toothpaste, sorry, you're using it. And they've gotten to where they love it. And they kind of, when we ran out of our On Guard toothpaste, they had the same experience that we did, that they didn't like the other toothpaste I bought. And they were so glad when we had lots of On Guard toothpaste in the house again. So there's a really good, I meant to link to this, there's a really good podcast out there. If you guys follow Ange Peters at all, Whole Fit Talks on any podcast app, she interviewed a holistic dentist, and he had some really good things to say about fluoride and kind of helping you make up your mind about whether or not to use it. So definitely recommend looking for that. And if you need more direction in finding that, I can find it for you. And I'm gonna send out a recording. So if you're on my email list, if you get my emails, I'll link that podcast. I'm going to make a note right now so I don't forget to do that. So the type of toothbrush you use is also something to make a decision on. So the picture I have here is an electric toothbrush. That's what I use probably half the time, and mine is probably about 15 years old. I mentioned that I used to have dental reps come and do lunch and learns for us, and that's where I got mine. It's an Oral-B electric toothbrush. These also kind of similar to the water flosser are in the $70 to $80 range. I mean, you can find more expensive ones. There might even be ones that are a lower price point now. But what I love about an electric toothbrush is you can't brush too hard. If you start to push too hard with an electric toothbrush, it's gonna not work as well. It's gonna make a little sound, and it kind of like the motor steps down a notch. So this is really helpful, especially for people who just tend to like go at their teeth really hard without thinking. And on that note, always use a soft bristle brush. That's really important. Soft is plenty. I know some people are of the mindset that like a tougher brush must be better for your teeth, like a medium toothbrush or something like that. But a soft bristle brush will always do the job if you're being really thorough. And we're going to talk more about toothbrushing technique on the next slide. But for now, just know that an electric toothbrush is a fabulous way to go. Or if you just have a manual toothbrush, that's great too. That's what I use when I travel. That's what I use when I can't find my electric toothbrush charger for a month. But either way, it's just the most important thing is to just brush every single tooth and just to be really thorough. And then the final daily step is mouthwash. And if you've tried this On Guard mouthwash, you'll know that it's very bold, to me, it's very spicy. It's way spicier than the toothpaste, in my opinion, but it's so good. I was talking to my mom earlier, and she said that she kind of feels like she's addicted to the On Guard mouthwash, and I am right there. She might even be watching. So I'm right there with her. I use this every single morning, every single night, and pretty often I'll do it after lunch as well, because it just really helps your mouth feel incredibly clean. So what any mouthwash would do for you is helps rinse away debris in your mouth. So some people actually like to move their mouthwash to first step to kind of loosen the debris in there. For me, that's what the water flosser does, or the floss does. But I like to use the mouthwash at the end because it just really freshens your breath. And I kind of like to end with that step. What this doTERRA mouthwash does in particular is it helps maintain proper mouth pH. So come to find out, the pH level in your mouth is very important. It's important that you have this pH level that's not too acidic. So a lot of the foods that we eat, a lot of the beverages that we drink are very acidic, and we want our mouth to not be so acidic because that acid can actually eat away our enamel and cause gum damage and things like that. So this really helps. They did a study that moved people to a healthier pH in their mouth within 4 days by using this morning and night, using this specific On Guard mouthwash. So it's really helpful for taking care of the bacteria as well. It actually has the On Guard blend in there. So the On Guard oils are in there. So again, a little immune boost every time you put this in your mouth. And there's no synthetic ingredients, there's no artificial flavors, and there's no alcohol. So alcohol can be dangerous if you have young kids in the house, or someone who's a recovering alcoholic. I mean, I've heard of treatment centers where they can't keep mouthwash in there because the addicts will drink the mouthwash. So this is not an issue there. And just as far as general mouth health, the reason we want to avoid alcohol in our mouthwash is alcohol is very drying to your mouth. And we want our mouth to be very moist. We want it to be just a really friendly environment just for mouth health. So that's a big reason why there's no alcohol in there. And it also contains, there's children running around outside, I don't know if y'all heard that. It also contains this extract called mishwak extract. So mishwak is actually a twig that was traditionally used before the advent of the modern toothbrush. So these people would chew on these twigs and it would just help keep their teeth clean. There was this compound in there that helps keep their teeth clean. So doTERRA, being the amazing blend of science and natural traditional wisdom that it is, has blended these two things. So that mishwak extract's in there, and then it has xylitol, again, that we talked about with the toothpaste, that helps keep your teeth strong and gives it a little bit of a sweet flavor. So again, my kids use this. My sons both have their own, like next to their sink, there's a Miles bottle and a Cameron bottle. We wrote their name on it in a Sharpie because they don't want to drink out of their brother's mouthwash. And I just typically have a bottle on my LRP every month, and between my two kids and my husband and I, we go through pretty much that whole bottle in a month. So, and I don't use the full amount. I don't use a cap full. I just kind of sip from the bottle and just kind of get enough to swish around in my mouth. And then I do gargle with it, especially now with the immune support focus that all of us have. It's a really good idea to just gargle with it in the back of your throat, just kind of keep it back there, rinse the very back of your tongue as far back as you can get rid of all that unhealthy bacteria that you can, and then just spit it out. And you can water it down. That's what I did at first, because like I said, it's spicy. I feel like I'm someone who can handle a good amount of spice, but it's spicy. Okay, so back to our PowerPoint. I'm gonna go to the next slide. And back in the day when I worked for the orthodontist, we said this pretty often: you don't have to brush all your teeth, just the ones you want to keep. So we've talked about this a little bit, but really when you brush your teeth, really slowing down and using it as a exercise in being aware, being in this state of awareness where you're focused on brushing each tooth, the outside, the inside, the chewing surface. You want to say hi, Camilla? Okay, then you got to go find Daddy. Yeah. Go tell Daddy you want a snack. Sorry. Brushing every surface of every teeth, brushing your tongue. And then also something that a lot of people don't know is that when you brush your teeth, you don't want to hold it like, I guess that would be a 90-degree angle to your teeth and just scrub, because that's really hard on your gums. You actually want to hold it like this picture shows at a 45-degree angle and just do like small circles, and that cleans up and under the gums very gently and isn't going to run that risk of scraping your gums so much. So this is kind of a busy slide, but what I wanted to share here is I wanted to make sure you guys are aware that we have these new wellness kits. So these new wellness kits are fabulous. I am actually on step 2 of this one. I have step 3 coming this month. And the reason I show you this during this oral health class is because there's things in here that you can't actually purchase that are really good for oral health. I mean, you can purchase them in this set, but they're kind of extras that you can only get in these wellness kits. So the way these work is you sign on for this wellness kit. You're doing this as a loyalty order. So this is your ongoing monthly order that you can order as little or as much as you want, and you get points back on every month. You get credit for more oils the next month. And with this, you can do either, right now we have immunity, we have pain, and we have mind and mood. So pain relief and then like emotions. And with the immunity one, so if you look at the little kit that has the number 1 by it, you'll see in the very front, there's a little On Guard floss. So this floss it's the floss I use on the nights that I floss. And then you also get little travel On Guard toothpaste. And you can actually, at least you used to be able to order the little travel toothpaste. I'm not sure, since they did just do a reformulation and repackaging of our toothpaste. So I'm not sure that you can buy the little sample package individually yet, but you can definitely get it in this kit. And then it comes with On Guard Purify Wild Orange, foaming hand wash with a dispenser, and then On Guard sanitizer. So it's kind of like that approach that doTERRA has, that this isn't just about cleaning our hands, it's also about cleaning the air and drinking water with wild orange in it to get oils into our digestive system, and then really being mindful of oral health and using clean products that help our immune system as well. And and then washing with something that is beneficial to our skin and getting that On Guard on us every time we wash our hands as well. So that's kind of like the full body approach that we like to focus on. And then the next month, so let's say you do your wellness kit number 1, you sign on for that on your LRP. First month, you get your wellness kit 2. The second month, you go in and you're like, okay, am I ready for kit number 2? You can push pause on that kit and just get something else on your LRP. And then your order will actually remember that you are ready for that next kit if you take a break. Hope that makes sense. So let's just say, for ease, for simplicity, let's say that you are ready for it. And let's say that's all you're getting, that you just get the wellness kit that first month. Well, you don't even have to think about your LRP the next month, because you'll automatically get this number 2 kit. So the number 2 kit, do you guys see that tongue scraper there? So there's a copper tongue scraper. It's beautiful. It has like a little doTERRA on the top. My kids saw it and they were like, oh my gosh, I love your tongue scraper. And that's just the kind of weird things that happen at our house. So this tongue scraper is my favorite one, and I've had a few, but it's solid. It's gonna last for years and years. And then this also comes with like a little mini travel mouthwash. And I actually traveled with this mouthwash over the holidays. I feel like traveling with mouthwash, it's always like, is it gonna leak? Is this gonna be a huge mess? And mine stayed nice and neat. I didn't travel by plane. I was traveling by car, so I didn't pack it in a suitcase or anything, but it gave me no problems. And then this one has tea tree oil, grapefruit, and the On Guard soft gels. And then month 3 has a lot of good stuff. It has the On Guard wipes that still haven't come out yet. I don't know if you guys have been watching that. We were told they were going to come out very soon, like back in September, and we've just kind of been waiting on them. So what I've been wondering is that if the wellness kits have been more popular than they thought and the wipes have been going there, I don't know. But you can get a few of those in this kit number 3, along with some other things that don't really have so much to do with oral health. So we'll skip over those for now. But these wellness kits are super fun. The first month comes with that pretty, it's like a neoprene bag, an oil bag. And then the next months come in that nice little like cardboard bag. It's just really fun to get like this bundle of oils that you know that you're really working on your immune health. And they come with solid instructions on how to use them, unlike the oils that are just like, you get this bottle and you kind of have to do your research to figure out what to do with them. These wellness kits come with like, do this in the morning, do this morning and night, use 2 drops at this time. Like, they're really helpful like that. So this is just a few random tips that I had, just some random tooth ideas. It's recommended that we actually wait a bit after eating to brush our teeth, especially when you eat something acidic like grapefruit or an orange, clementine, cutie, things like that. Even coffee is very acidic. And what this can do is it can kind of soften your tooth enamel temporarily. So it's recommended that we wait 15 to 20 minutes after brushing. And it's good to know that your essential oils like grapefruit essential oil, lemon essential oil, lime, these are not going to do that. They're cold pressed from the rind, so it doesn't contain that same amount of acid. The essential oils are just more like high levels of limonene, which is the antioxidant, and things that are really good for you in a different way. So wait a bit after eating to brush, but you do want to, I should have switched these. You do want to switch with water, especially after coffee, especially after citrus, especially after like a green smoothie. You want to swish around with water just to kind of get that acid off your mouth and just get the acid off your teeth and just start to clean your mouth immediately. So you don't have to wait 20 minutes because we don't want the sugar and the acid on our teeth any longer than it has to be. And when you swish with water, you can add spearmint, lemon, peppermint, slim and sassy oil. You can do this, like I carry this water bottle around with me a lot of places that I go. Right now I have spearmint in there. So when let's say I'm at the park, and a lot of times I have like a Larabar with me when we're at the park, and that can really, it has dates in it, and it just can really like kind of glue onto your teeth. So you can just do a little swish, just kind of, I don't know, I just do these things. So you might feel a little weird when you do it the first time if you're just swishing water around, but it's really not a big deal. And it can really just help to clean your teeth and under the gums. And then carrots and celery can also clean your teeth. I actually got this tip from one of my son's teachers. They would have crackers at snack quite a bit. And she gave them the tip that if they brought crackers, they should also bring carrots or celery to eat after the crackers to kind of help clean out their teeth. So she might be watching. And I know that she said she wanted to see this class. So if she's watching, she'll know that I'm talking about her. But it's a really simple way to clean your teeth when you're out, and like, because sometimes just swishing with water doesn't do enough. So this slide is totally out of, if you're reading this, it might not make sense. It's supposed to say carrots and celery can clean your teeth, and then so can gum. I was doing some last minute changes. So that's what that's supposed to mean. And lots of gum, like I mentioned, has xylitol in it, which is helpful for tooth health. And you might be aware that doTERRA offers slim and sassy gum. So that stuff is fabulous. It helps with cravings, helps with blood sugar balance, helps with positive mood and digestion, as well as cleaning your teeth and freshening your breath. It's a natural gum that actually lasts, I don't know, I can usually chew it for 10 minutes or so, where other natural gums like a minute and I'm like, it needs to go. But I'm not much of a gum chewer. So if you really like gum, it can really actually have a positive effect on your oral health. And then toothpicks can help as well. So I just found these neem picks. I found these a couple months ago, and I keep them in my car. So a lot of times when I'm driving, I'll just get one of my neem picks and kind of work around the gum line gently. And if you're not familiar with neem oil, this is something that they've been using in India for a very long time to keep their teeth clean. It's actually an oil. I don't know if doTERRA will ever have this, but I'm actually going to request it and see if they would think about having this, because just the little bit of research I did before this class, there's lots of people out there that talk about how great it is for preventing cavities, for preventing gum disease. And yogis actually used to chew on neem branches. Like back in the day, they would just like walk around these branches, and they probably still do now, who knows? But that's how they kept their teeth clean. So these neem picks, and specifically, these have some peppermint on them. That they taste really good and they freshen your breath. So definitely recommend looking for these. And again, when I send out the email with this recording, I'm going to have links to some of these extra things: the electric toothbrush that I love, the water flosser, and these neem picks. You can get them. I get them at this store called Esches in like Loveland, Fort Collins area, but they're kind of hit or miss there. You can definitely get them on Amazon. I saw them there, but it's really helpful. And it's just like, because I'm not much of a gum chewer and I want to freshen my mouth when I'm out and about, I've just kind of found that this is a really good thing to use. So this is something I don't do. But I wanted to mention it because I know a lot of people do. And the main reason I don't do this is because I feel like my teeth are in a healthy place and maybe I should do it more. I don't know. People rave about it. They love it. I've heard that people say that their teeth got whiter, sensitivity was improved. Just mouth health in general can really be benefited by doing oil pulling. So the way this works, you use like a teaspoon or two of coconut oil. So this would be like the coconut oil that you cook with, just like extra virgin, is it extra virgin coconut oil or extra virgin olive oil? Regardless, it's the one that you would cook with, that is probably solid. Those of us who live in Colorado right now, it's cold here. So this tends to be solid on your counter this time of year. You just scoop a spoon out, add a drop of On Guard. You could also do spearmint or peppermint. I know people do myrrh and tea tree. So there's a lot of clove. There's a lot of different oils that you could use. And then you swish this for like 15 to 20 minutes. So that's kind of like what's always stopped me. And I did a little post in our Facebook group and same thing. Someone was like, I don't know if I could do this for 15 to 20 minutes. They say if you do it in the shower, then you're just in there. You're just in there swishing and it's supposed to get kind of milky and kind of change colors. And then you want to spit it in the trash can. You don't want to put this in your pipes because that coconut oil, just think if it's solid on your countertop, what's going to happen when it gets in your cold pipes? It's going to solidify. So spit it in your trash can and repeat this daily. And I say I don't do this, but I should say I don't do this regularly. I don't do this daily. I do it occasionally. And actually, I went through a phase where this is kind of gross, we're friends here. I'll share this with you. I was noticing that when I flossed my teeth, it smelled bad. And I did a little, of course, I got online and was like, what's going on? And it's like, it's a sign that my gums weren't that healthy, that there was some problems starting. So that's when I did start oil pulling. And I did it pretty consistently for, I would say, a few weeks. And I noticed a huge difference. So it is something that I do recommend. That's why I put it in here. But like, I just like to be honest, and I don't do this every day. But the second I start to notice an issue in my mouth, I would add this in first thing. So I'm curious, do any of you guys do this? You can jump in or you can say it in the chat. Any of you guys do oil pulling? Have you experimented with this? It's definitely something to look at. Oh, and I forgot, I can't see the chat right now with this up. So if you're typing, I'll get back to you at the end. And I wanted to put this in. I know that a lot of us have kind of moved out of the phase of teething babies, but you never know. Some people might be watching this and have a teething baby right now. So this was so incredibly helpful for my kids, all three. Well, I guess my oldest, I didn't have oils when he was teething, unfortunately, but my next two I did. And what you do is you take a drop of clove essential oil, make sure it's doTERRA. You want to make sure that it's a very high quality oil if you're putting it in your baby's mouth. And then you do 2 tablespoons of coconut oil and you mix this up really, really well. Like I would even liquefy the coconut oil, mix that clove in. You want this to be just completely emulsified in there. And then you allow it to harden. I did it in like a 4-ounce little mason jar, like a jelly jar. And then you just take a little bit of that. It makes enough for their whole teething time. It makes plenty. In fact, I just got rid of ours because thankfully my daughter's done teething. But you take a little bit and you apply a little bit to the gums. And I always recommend that when the mom is doing this, just put a little on your own gums as well, just so you know what it feels like. And it just takes the edge off. I would always put it right in the middle and it definitely made them a little tiny bit numb. Not anything too overpowering. Clove is a hot oil, actually. That's why it's so diluted here. This is very highly diluted and it helped every single time with my kids. It made a huge difference. And then I didn't put this on the slide, but you can also take some diluted lavender and put that on the outside of their jaw, and that can really help as well. So I like to add some action into these classes. And because it's your mouth and there's so many different things that we can focus on with our mouth health, I want you to think about what do you want to do more of to care for your mouth? I know it's jumping in your head right now. Might have to do with flossing or maybe getting a water flosser. I know that flossing is usually the thing that we skip. Maybe it's mouthwash, or maybe it's just experimenting with the tongue scraper. So think of at least one thing and then really think about, you can do this now, or you can definitely do this after you get off, but it's so helpful to actually think through the steps that need to happen. So let's say that it is the mouthwash and you don't have any. Well, you'll need to think, okay, well, I need to write myself a note. I need to make sure that gets on my next order. Need to put it next to my sink, need to just build it into a habit to start to use it. So I also want to mention this month's special. So this is February of 2021 right now. And that we have a new member special. So this is really exciting for new people. So if you know anyone, if you've been talking to someone about oils and they're interested, this is definitely the month to reach out to them. Or if you just have people in mind that you're like, I wonder if they'd be interested, this is definitely the month to ask them. Because if they start with a $150 order, then they get a $50 credit within about a week. So they could do their first order and then get the oils that they didn't get, because there's typically always more oils that we want, you know. So then on top of that, you can get on top of it or separately, like this is the new member special. And then for anyone, no matter if you're doing a loyalty order or just a one-time order or a retail order, which I hope you wouldn't do a 200 PV retail order, but regardless, any 200 PV order, you get all these free On Guard things. So you get a sanitizing mist, you get a hand wash refill. Because the hand pump, the soap pump isn't pictured, I don't think that comes with this. I haven't got confirmation on that, but those are $2. So you could just add that on if you don't have one. So many of us already have multiples of that they're skipping that this time. But the hand wash is fabulous. It's just smells so good and it's moisturizing to your hands while getting them really clean. And then it also comes with the 15 milliliter On Guard and an On Guard Touch. So again, that's free with any 200 PV order that you do. So if you haven't done your monthly order this month, you might want to consider bumping it up to 200 this month if you want those On Guard things. So next month's class, I figured we would talk emotions. Anyone dealing with some strong emotions these days? I know we all are. There's so much going on, and it's important to, just like it's important to prioritize our oral health, our mouth health, it's vitally important right now to prioritize our emotions. And this goes way deeper than just slapping on some Peace or slapping on some Motivate or something like that. We're going to talk about lifestyle tips lifestyle changes we can make, and just how to keep a positive outlook in the midst of all of this craziness that we're dealing with. I don't even like to think of what might be going on in a month just after the last year or so, but just one day at a time. And oils can absolutely help. I know that a lot of us are seeing the help that can come from using oils for when we're feeling anxious, when we can't sleep, when we're feeling stressed out, when we need more focus. So that's kind of the stuff we're going to talk about next class on Tuesday, March 2nd at 7 p.m. Mountain. So I'm going to get out of this screen share, possibly, and check out the chat. Okay, there we go. All right. So does anyone have any comments or anything? Anyone done the oil pulling that I mentioned? Or does that sound like something you want to try? And I did hear that one person one time told me that if you only do it for 2 or 3 minutes, it's better than not doing it at all. So if you're feeling totally overwhelmed by that 15-minute thing, but you know that it's something that could help your gums or help your mouth health in general, then just start with 2 or 3 minutes, and that can really be something that could help. All right, well, let's do our book giveaway. So again, I have one of these Advanced Oil Magic books. And Allison, you're asking how long to chew gum to help with oral health. So I would say, you definitely, like, the main thing that gum does for you is it cleans out all the gunk in the crevices of your teeth, like in your, like in the grooves of your teeth, and it freshens your breath. So for me, one of the big reasons I don't chew gum is because it hurts my jaw. I think I spent way too many hours chewing gum as a teenager. I used to literally chew it all the time, anytime, all the time. I was about to say when I was out of my house, but it was probably just all the time. And I think I just did something to my jaw. So if you have a jaw issue, definitely listen to that. If you have any clicking or popping or locking, number one, Deep Blue is really helpful. I didn't put this in my notes, but Deep Blue rub or the diluted Deep Blue oil can really help with any sort of jaw pain or jaw locking and things like that. But it's kind of a personal thing with how long to chew gum. For me, it's the jaw thing, and then it tends to lose flavor. I know some of the like artificially flavored gums can keep their flavor for hours, but those have artificial sweeteners and things in it that I don't typically, I buy it sometimes. My kids love it, but it's not something that I really do day in and day out. So it's kind of just however long you want to chew it, while keeping in mind that this is fatiguing your jaw. And so, I mean, if you want a number that I would say 5 to 10 minutes, like chew it for 5 to 10 minutes and then just spit it out. But it's kind of up to you as well. All right, so the question that I came up with for our book, and again, this book is fabulous. It's got every single single oil, like this has bergamot and black pepper on here, and then it has the blends and the supplements, and then it goes into protocols. That's my favorite part of this book, because you can actually look at protocols for like this one's for babies, keeping your babies on track. This is for mental health. So this focuses on healthy brains of all ages. And it has supplements and oils that can really help you if that's something you want to focus on. So the question for tonight is, what 4 steps do I recommend that you do every single day for your mouth? What were those 4 things? And Jay, I saw when we even popped on, you kind of got it right. So, but there's 1 step you're missing. So you could copy and paste and add that in. Who remembers the 4 steps? And put it in the chat. I didn't tell you that. Or you can jump in on camera or on just audio. Okay, so Allison says scrape, water pick, brush, mouthwash. Okay. And Allison Boland. Okay, good, because Allison Washington, you got the book last time. So I'm glad that you got it right, but someone else beat you to it. So Allison Boland, I don't think you have this book. I'll check in with you. I know you have the other book, but I'll make sure that you don't have this, or if you do, you can give it to someone else. But thank you guys so much for being on. These things are so fun to do. I'm just going to do a quick scan of who's on, just so I can see. Okay, perfect. I like to see who's on. Okay, that was Nikki. Oh, Allison, that was right. You did. Nikki did get the book. Dang. Well, Allison Boland did beat you to it this time. So come back for emotional aromatherapy and pay extra good attention. And I can reach out to you if you want a book. We can talk about that as well. So anyways, thank you guys for being on, and I'll see you, see if I can remember the date, March the 2nd, 7 p.m. Tuesday, emotional aromatherapy. All right. Thank you. Bye.